Hey guys, I only got 10 minutes today, so I'm going to try to do a quick conversation. So, what I want to talk today about is optimization and optimizing an ad campaign, but using your budget allocations to do so, right? When we try to improve the performance of an ad account or of a campaign, there's two different main routes that you can go, right? Either you can improve the performance of a specific campaign itself, right? Like this campaign was at, let's say the goal is ROAS. This campaign was at 100% ROAS, and I'm trying to take it to 150%. That type of work is quite difficult, right? You have to look at the building blocks. Maybe your landing page has changed, or your copy has changed, or you're changing something on your targeting, right? There's like these big things that you have to look at when that's the case. Majority of the time when we drive big improvements in ROAS and performance overall, it's based off of allocation decisions. And so that's why organization, I think the last topic I talked to you guys about is organization. As a rule of thumb, and if you're a media buyer on my team, take this to heart. We want to have things bucketed in ways that you can spend more money on things if it works, right? If you put all of your assets into one campaign or all of your audiences into one campaign, if a segment in there works, you can't just turn up the gas, right? We want things organized in a way that we could do exactly that. If something's working, we can just go and turn some more gas on it. I'm going to share my screen quickly and just kind of walk you through some like examples of this, right? So like, let's say it's YouTube. So if we have campaign 1 and we have audience 1 and audience 2 and audience 3 and audience 4. And so let's say you have cost, you have ROAS, right? So let's say we spent the same, well, it's one campaign, right? So in this campaign, we have $100 spend in ROAS. But let's say the individual segments, are like this. Right? In this scenario, I couldn't spend more on this audience, right? But we need to be organized in a way where we can. That's why when we structure out these campaigns, we would roughly look at a different scenario, right? We would put them into separate campaigns so that then I can take this budget here. Maybe I take this budget to 200. Maybe I take this budget to 150. Maybe I take this budget to 75. Right? And then we can start making these improvements. It seems simple, but I promise this is like one of the biggest mistakes people make is like conceptualizing these numbers and improving the performance by the allocation. We do it as a process of like tapping, right? We don't make knee-jerk changes. We make all of our budget changes as a percentage, right? So something's not working, underperforming, right? Below target. That's a time where we'll reduce it by 50% or reduce it by 25%, depending on the severity. If something's working, maybe we improve it by 25 or we increase it by 50. If something's really, really good, maybe we increase it by 100%. And we're making those changes based off of a percentage. But there's kind of like the two facets of it, right? Organize it in a way where you can do it. That's the first step. And most of the time, people don't do that, right? Most of the time, people don't organize their ad account in a way where if a function or a piece is working, they can't spend more on it. What's the point? If you're trying to scale, what's the point, right? Like you're wasting your time if you're not organizing it where you can do that. And then the second piece of it is actually doing it, right? Looking at the numbers, understanding the numbers, and then spending more on the stuff that's working, right? So that is really the biggest driver of how we make these campaigns scale. The budget allocation part, most of the time, that's where we make the biggest drivers and biggest improvement in performance. I mentioned this on an earlier video where I like to have a lot of different variables. So that something's working, I like to push and pull money there. I mentioned that in terms of hiring multiple media buyers. It makes sense. You're working better this month, I'm going to shift money, right? The allocation of money, that is like the biggest driver that will drive your performance. I think of an advertising campaign or an ad budget the same way I think about like money managing a hedge fund, right? Is the same type of investment decisions in terms of, okay, over here, this asset's working better. Let's shift the money this way, and pushing and pulling based off of performance. Sometimes you got to make a gamble, have a methodology and a system behind it. But that allocation decision, making those decisions at least weekly. If we're spending $100 on a campaign, we're making those decisions once a week. We're spending $100,000 on a campaign, we're making those decisions every single day. I got a call coming up right now, so I'm going to jump, but hopefully these are helpful. Again, let me know if you got specific questions that we can talk about. There's a lot of lessons that we can talk about in terms of how to scale these campaigns. And I hope you guys have a good weekend.